Okay.
Fair
The
use.
first one. Yo, so like, yeah, what are we doing? Like, are we, should we plan the
So first of all, we're planning a podcast,
planning a podcast? Oh, yeah, cool. Okay. So what's the moves? What's
one
the
that doesn't
plan?
have a name.
Uh-huh.
Um, but I don't know. Like I listen to a lot of podcasts, right?
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
I listen to podcasts in a lot of different formats.
Okay.
And I always find that when you have someone to talk to, it makes for a more interesting
Way better. It
podcast,
is
in
way
my
better.
opinion.
Yeah. Way better.
It's way better. Because like even with my own shout out to mine, it's like I'm trying to like think of I haven't actually even fully launched it yet because I've been doing this since like 2018, I think. It was conceptualized in a coffee shop, Mustachios, and I used to go there all the time. So I was like, yo, I'm gonna
Mustachios and
start a podcast.
olives.
And it was like,
Oh,
no,
in
in
town.
town.
Yes, mustachios in town.
You know, like that corner that I always used to sit at.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that's where I was, and I was like, I'm gonna start a podcast. But back then, it was more like a poetry thing because I was like,
Okay. Celine, you're breaking up a bit. Wi-Fi. Is this
I can
me?
still hear you though. I can hear you.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, yeah, you like broke up a bit there. Um, I don't know. I don't know what caused it. I think it's yeah. I think it's just the signal. Something's happening. I don't know if it's on your side or if it's on my side or
Yeah,
what the issue is.
I'm gonna say it's on my side because I'm in a third world country.
Lit, actually, yeah. I feel like we should have started off with that. Where am I speaking to you from right now? Like where are you right now? And then I'll tell you where I am.
Okay, so I'm in Addis Ababa in Ethiopia. That's East
Okay.
Africa.
Okay.
Yeah, in my office in my parents' house. That's where I am. Where are you?
Lit. Okay. In your office. Hectic. You are living.
Co-opted it. It's my office now.
Facts. Like literally, I'm in my sister's bedroom, which is now my office because she's at university in Scotland, so she's not here. So I'm in her bedroom, which is now my bedroom slash office. In
Wait, you're
Joburg.
not in Cape Town? I thought you
No,
were
no,
in
no,
Cape Town.
no. I'm only going back like early next month. I wanted to stay and just like be with the fam for a bit, Yeah.
I still
Like
leave from
no,
work.
work has started. Like work started 2 weeks ago.
Oh wow!
But
So you're working from like home.
yeah, I'm working from home. I mean, it's been nice, like just hanging out with the family, spending time with my brother, spending time with my mom and dad. Although yeah, like my sister's already gone.
Mm.
So yeah, that's been pretty cool.
Did you
Uh
get to see her, your sister?
my sister. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like over Christmas,
Uh,
I got to hang out with her. So that was dope. Yeah. But now she's
okay. Okay.
back in
Yeah,
Scotland.
I mean a similar thing as well. My brother left like
Mm.
last week
Oh wow, okay.
off to the States for college. So
Yeah.
except for one of us is voluntary and for the other one it's involuntary.
Yo. Yeah. So what are you how's your thesis going?
Um, I am hoping to finish my discussion chapter either this week or next week, which marks the end of the journey.
Hectic.
Can you believe it?
Masters baby, let's go. Let's go. Yo.
um, but like it all depends on whether my supervisor thinks that my work was good or not. She
Mm.
hasn't gotten back to me, which is making me a little bit nervous.
Yeah, I hear you.
But I'm sure she's probably just like reading and marking it. So
Mm.
fingers crossed.
Mm.
Fingers crossed.
Yo. I really hope it works out and you're able to be done with this thing. Because I feel like you've been talking about your masters for like 2 years now. Like you've been working on it for ages. So it'd be cool to just get that
It's,
like out of the way.
I'm ready for like the next stage in my life. Like I'm so ready to start working, and I'm
Yeah.
ready to like
I
start
mean,
making money.
studying's
Fucking
cool.
whole ass.
Working is alright.
Can you believe
Studying also has its benefits.
working is money, child? It's money. That's. I think that's really it. Cause like right now, I'm debating internally because I'm like at the point where it's like, okay, where am I gonna go now? I'm debating where it's like, should I work for the dream organization, the United Nations, climate
Mm,
action, whatever,
mm,
get that for I actually have more of a choice. Like, should I do venturing?
mm,
Should I do business?
mm.
Because yeah, I don't know. I feel like when with my masters and then moving into like work field, I feel like it's a path that's already been so directed for me already that I'm just like, do I even really still want to do that? Which is kind of hectic because I kind of spent the last 6 years of my life preparing myself to go into like industry.
Yeah,
So
hectic.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, yeah. It's crazy. Like, so I studied finance, as you know, I studied finance. Just for the people who are listening or watching and don't know anything about us. So I did my undergrad in finance. Now I'm working at a financial institution, but not in finance. I'm working in data. So it's like genuinely, I could have done the work I'm doing now without not without a degree. You know, I think I actually could be doing the work
Without a degree, dog.
without any degree at all.
Yeah.
And but more specifically, without doing what I studied necessarily. I could have studied um like chemical engineer. I could have studied any engineering degree. I could have done an IT degree. I could have done like literally anything else. And I know for a fact like the the stuff I'm doing has nothing to do with what I studied at all. Like the stuff I studied has more to do with what's happening with GameStop and like Tesla and like all these shares and all this like craziness in the stock market that you see right now than like
Yeah.
what I do for work, literally what I do for money. Like,
Not that.
at
Not
all.
that.
Not that.
Yeah. And I think I'm quite excited to see like where I'm gonna end up in terms of work because I'm
Mm,
like I probably won't be. I mean, I'd love to be talking about the fourth industrial revolution to people my entire life and get
mm,
money from that. But I probably won't. It probably won't be anything like that.
mm. I hear you. Why do you think that though?
I think because of just like as people who are our age, I don't know if we're millennials because we're in Africa, so I'm not sure if I should call us millennials.
Yo, I don't know who
Um,
made those groupings up, but I don't know if they work
yeah,
like
but my thing is like for us when we go out to look for a job, it's not like trying to build a career or trying to do follow our passions. It's to survive. Like I feel like that's where we're at, where it's just like just find something.
really.
I feel like that's where I am. I just need money right now. So in as much as I want to like build my career and stuff, I don't know if I do think I'm privileged enough to try, but I don't know how it would fare out in the long run because I'm 24 and I'm under my parents' roof.
Mm,
That's triggering.
yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Like
I
there's
would say, mm,
there's like I feel like there's so many like trade-offs, because
yeah,
sorry, like you can, yeah, because you could stay under your parents like roof for a bit longer and like try and figure things out and spend more time trying to figure out like I mean, but that's the thing is like, do you want to stay at home? Like that kind like it's not an easy thing to do in one
mm,
sense, just not having that freedom and being able to decide, yo, I want to sleep at like 1 a.m. or I want to be like out of the house
yeah,
late,
yeah.
or like I want to go
Mm.
visit friends, or I want to have friends over, or
My drink,
just like the most basic stuff. You can't do any of that. Um,
literally. So yeah, and I think I also find it a little bit like weirder for me because even though I live in Ethiopia, I'm from Zimbabwe. but I spent the last 6 years in South Africa. So my life is very like segmented
Mm,
across,
mm.
different countries.
Actually,
Right
that's
now
true.
is,
Hey, like
yeah.
I live in South Africa. Like I know you from South Africa, but like
You
you,
see,
yeah. So like I mean, we went to school together. We went to UCT, and that's sort of how we know each other. Just from res, from like first year in res.
and
Actually,
those were like the formative years in our lives. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
So it's
yeah,
like it's
yeah.
weird not being there right now because I'm like,
Mm.
but all my niggas are that side.
Honestly, like
I'm
that's the fam.
here. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that
I
makes
think that's a good like intro.
yeah, yeah. I feel like we're really good at introductions. Like now to the listeners, now you know who we are. You know, now we're just gonna
Actually, neither of us did our names.
hectic. Actually, you know, I was thinking of a name for this podcast, but that's true. Yeah. Okay, yo, do you want to do like a formal, not a formal, but like an introduction, like you're meeting someone for the first time? Do you want to like do something like that? No.
I think this is chilled because this is supposed to be like a pilot episode where we're just trying it
Yeah,
out.
but I mean,
So it's
I also feel
natural.
like
So at this point, I would just be like, my name is Stevie.
and then we just carry on talking. Nah, I feel like we should.
Keep going.
No, like I feel like we should be like I should be like, hey, I'm Joshua. I do this. I am this. This is the stuff I care about and think about and whatever, whatever. And then you do like a similar sort of thing. Like this is me,
It could.
basically.
I mean, yeah. You're gonna edit this, right? So you're gonna like
Not really. Hey, it's gonna
shift.
have very minimal editing. Like this
I
conversation
think
is
that's
gonna be
cool
like,
though. I think that's cool. I think even including this part of the conversation in the actual pod is cool.
yeah. This is just like us talking. Like this is this is like low-key personal brand building, I think. You know, just
Mm.
like talk
I'm
like us
through
talking
this.
about like our lives. Because I mean, you're gonna have another podcast, and I'm gonna have another podcast. In my podcast, Ojo's Dojo, I'm not gonna be speaking about myself at all.
Mm.
So I don't get the chance to just be like, hey, blah 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 blah.
Yeah. And mine is scripted, so I feel
Exact
this way.
same.
Mine is written and then
Yeah,
like out loud. So this is like a different platform
yeah.
to do like.
I feel like we should do like one of these a week,
Hmm, I
right?
can make time for that.
Right?
I
Yeah,
just
like just get on a call, you know, and just be
talk
like,
about the things that are hot, like the GameStop thing that you brought up, which I don't understand at all. I don't,
I won't pretend I understand everything, but I understand some of it. And it's like every time like something new comes out or like I understand something a bit more, I'm just like, yo, this thing is crazy. Like it doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't, not that it doesn't make sense, but it also like it doesn't make sense. Like I
okay.
think years for like if universities are worth their salt, for years from
So we
today,
talk
we're going
about
to be
this.
talking about this in finance classes. It's going to be like,
Wow.
do you remember when a group of Rep users shot up like some game company stock? Oh my god,
Mhm.
that's going to be
Okay, so
crazy.
so if I'm getting it correct, GameStop is like a what do you call it? Like games, right? Like maybe
Yeah,
video,
yeah.
like
So
physical.
physical games, yeah. So basically, GameStop is it's a physical store where they sell games, they sell gaming consoles, and I think you can get other stuff that's sort of related to that. So you can get like Pokemon things and cards and stuff like that, right?
Okay.
Um, so that company for like a while hasn't been doing well.
All
Um,
right.
yeah, just I mean, if you think of like Amazon, if you think of just I mean, you can get all that stuff online. You can even download games directly onto your
Yeah.
PlayStation, so you don't have to go to a
The
GameStop.
shops.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
So so the company wasn't doing well. Their sales were low. Their profit was I don't know if they were making losses or if the profits were just really low, but that wasn't good. And then because of those things, the share price was like for a long time like below $5, like
Was
between
this
two, three,
was
four.
this due to COVID? Like, did this start during COVID era or like even before?
I mean, they weren't doing well before COVID, but I imagine like when COVID hit, that didn't help them.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, you can't leave your house, right? So even if you want to play video games, sit at home and play video games, you just get it off Amazon. So I can't imagine that. But I don't know. I don't know. That's just me thinking out loud. So yeah, so so they weren't doing well, okay? So their share price was also really low. Okay, cool. So then so this is where the craziness sort of starts. So there's this forum on Reddit called WALLSTREETBETS.
Okay.
It's just like, I don't want to miscategorize it. So this is my opinion of them, but like, who know, like, yeah. So a lot of it is just a bunch of like people that just have a bit of extra cash and they just randomly invest in stuff. Like, and like even to call it investing is a bit, I don't know, but it's just like a bunch of people. I mean, okay, no, to be fair, there's like a bunch of different groups of people on WALLSTREETBETS. So, but the major one, the one that gets like the most spoken about outside of WALLSTREETBETS is the like speculators. Basically, these are people who, when they buy shares of a company, they literally say YOLO, because it's like, I don't know if this company is going up, I don't know if it's going down, I don't know what's happening. They just YOLO stocks,
Okay.
And yeah, and they post like a bunch of memes about stuff and whatever.
But that means they got a lot of extra cash to spend.
No, well, not necessarily, hey. Like some of them do, but
Okay,
like,
so you're saying GameStop was like $5. They could just like,
yeah, and I mean you can even buy fractions of shares now. So yeah, actually, I don't want to cut off this story, but like there's a share I want to buy quick.
like right now.
Right now, yeah, I was meant to do this at like about 15 minutes ago. Oh, hectic. So apparently I can't minimize the screen while I'm recording. Okay, can I just buy the share quick? Just,
Do it.
I don't want to
Do
like
it.
miss my
Wait,
chance here.
is it gonna cut off the recording?
No, it's still recording. You can see my face and everything, right?
Yeah.
But you can't see my screen. Right? Okay, cool. Coolie. Oh.
I was talking to my brother this morning, and he's like 20. He's 20, turning 21. And this nigga was already buying stock. I was like, okay, I'm behind.
Already what? Buying stocks?
Yeah.
Shout out to him. Yeah, you are behind.
I'm way behind in life. Like, I need to get my shit together.
Yo, do you still have, like, if you still have a South African bank account, you can put some money into easy equities, even like 100 Rand or something. And yeah, just start building it up, and honestly, if it's a company and you like at the beginning, that's really all that matters. Like if you believe in them, more than like this is an investment advice, by the way, but more than likely,
I'm not a qualified professional.
You always have to give that disclaimer, always. But if you find a stock that like you like, or there's a company you like, I don't know, say you like Pick and Pay, because you always go there and buy your stuff, whatever. Put 100 Rand in them and then low-key forget about it. Just check it in like 5 years. It probably more than likely would have gone up, especially if it's a strong company like Pick and Pay. So yeah, so that's why I'm saying, like, if it's a brand that you know and like, it's more than likely a decent investment. Probably not all the time, but probably.
I'll check it out.
Yeah.
I'll do that. I'll put that on my to-do list on my journey to adulthood, which just started.
Yeah.
Are you getting anything?
No, it's not. I don't know. It's not. So I wanted to sell some shares and then use that money to buy other shares, but my shares haven't been sold yet, so I'm just waiting for that. Yeah. Yeah. So okay. So GameStop. I don't know, where was I? Like, what was I saying?
You were talking about the spectators, or like the more observers who observe the Wall Street.
Oh, no, yo, so not spectators, speculators, right? So these are people, yeah, so speculators are like people who I don't want to say they don't look at fundamentals, but essentially you can put people into two sort of groups, right? People who are like there for the long term, who are like, I like this company, I think has good fundamentals right now. Maybe the company is doing well right now, but in the long term it's going to be okay. I'm going to put some money into it. That you would sort of call an investor. That's like someone like a Warren Buffett or
I get it.
I don't know any big investors, but someone like Warren Buffett, right? Then on the other hand,
Gatsby.
sorry?
Leonardo DiCaprio in The Great Gatsby.
Facts. No, okay, so on the other hand, you have him. Yes, that's a speculator,
Oh,
actually. That's a perfect example of a speculator. That man did not care what the actual company was. Like he was just like, dude, let's just get into it and like see what happens. So yeah, so that's wait, let me not say it like that. Like I'm making it seem worse than it is. Basically, investors are there for the long term, speculators are there for the short term. That's basically.
Okay, I think yeah, I got it.
The techniques they use are different. Some speculators. I mean, look, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm getting ahead of myself. Anyway, on Reddit, so there's this Wall Street Bets thing. There's people on Reddit who YOLO stocks all the time. They just throw, and like some of them are actually pretty rich, right? So, so the person,
yeah, guy who got a return of like $48 million from the GameStop.
yeah. So that's that I think that user's name is deep effing value. I don't know if we're gonna go. I don't know if we're gonna like get sponsors and stuff. So I don't know about swearing yet. But we can have that discussion. We should have that discussion.
We can have that discussion. That's like a fundamental Celine principle.
Sorry?
That's a fundamental Celine principle. Okay, so go ahead on.
So okay, so yeah, so that's the guy, right? So this person put $50,000 into GameStop and did like some analysis on what was happening with the company, right? So they found out like a bunch of stuff. They found out that the company was getting a new CEO. The CEO was someone who'd previously taken a physical store online. And so they were like, oh, facts, this person's going to be able to do it with GameStop, right? So it was like, this is, right? So it was like, yo, this is actually fire, right?
Yeah.
The second thing was GameStop had entered into like some kind of an agreement with Microsoft. I don't know what the details of it are. I don't even know what is happening there, but they entered into some kind of an agreement. So that's probably good for GameStop because low-key Microsoft is a competitor with Xbox and, you know, being able to just download video games directly from Microsoft onto your Xbox. Yeah. So they entered into some kind of agreement, so that's kind of good. And then there was another point. Oh, so GameStop GameStop had like a ridiculous amount of shorts on the company. So a bunch of investors had shorted GameStop like a lot. So that's essentially a bet that the GameStop share price is going to decrease. Yeah. And the way that works is and this is important, right? So the way it works is you borrow a share, you sell it.
How do you borrow? Is it from people who already have shares in GameStop?
Yeah. So like the way it would work is, okay, let's take the example of like you and me and like some third party. Call this third party Ayanda, right? So say you have $10. Say you have one share of GameStop. Worth, and at that time shares are worth $10, right? So I'd come to you and be like, hey, Celine, or my broker, like it's a bit more complicated than this, but essentially I'd come to you and be like, hey, can I borrow your share of GameStop? And then you'd be like, yeah, cool. And then I'd borrow it, and then I'd
borrow my share in GameStop. What does that mean? Does that mean like the money that I would make off of that would come?
No, the actual share. The actual share, yeah.
You just borrow it?
Yeah, it's weird. I don't understand how this stuff works.
What is an economy?
Like, capitalism is dumb. Don't
Okay,
think about it too hard. Your head will hurt. Like, this thing is stupid. This is crazy. Like, I try not to get into the weeds of it.
Okay. All right. So I'm just gonna let that roll off my back. So you borrow the share.
So you borrow the share. I don't know how. Yeah, but you borrow the share, right? And then you sell it, right?
Okay.
Actually, think of it like, I don't know. Think of it like borrowing. Actually, no, never mind. I think the example I was going to give was bad. But you borrow the share and then you sell it, right? At the time, the share was worth $10. So I would get $10 from selling that share.
Okay.
Now, I'm hoping the price of the share goes down.
So when you give it back to me,
so I can buy it again and then return it back to you, and then I keep $5.
Okay.
Right? So that's how shorts make money. That's essentially what a short is. So sorry?
It doesn't sound legal.
Right? It sounds so weird, but like it's a real thing. Now that's not even the worst part. The worst part is that like this, so there's a hedge, I think it's a hedge fund, had 130% of the shares of this company. They had shorts on 130% of the shares of this company.
Okay. So they were expecting to make a lot of profit.
Yes, and like the I mean, you can only have 100% of a company. How can you have shorts on worth more than the value of the company? Yeah, like it doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't make sense. So this person, deep effing value, found this and was like, nah, guys, this thing doesn't make sense. So he put 50,000. I'm assuming it's a dude, but
it was 53.
They put $50,000 initially onto the share, and then wrote up this like long sort of research post for people to check out, and people checked it out, and like basically the whole of Wall Street Bets was now convinced that they had to get into GameStop immediately.
So this was still on the Reddit, like you hadn't even made it to the shores of like Reddit yet.
This was just on the Reddit. Yeah. So so this is how this whole thing started. So so now the other Reddit users on Wall Street Bets were like, oh, facts, okay, let's get into this and just start pumping up the stock. So now it goes from like, it starts at like $3 or something, and it starts going up, higher and higher and higher. If you check it now, I think it's like maybe 350, 430. Like there was a point where it hit 420, and there was jokes about that, obviously. Like they had to leave it. Well, it was actually specifically $420.69, because that's the type of
oh my god.
Yeah. That's the type of humor on Wall Street Bets. So
yeah, sounds like
yeah, it's just like frat bros, like making jokes and throwing away money.
And then that drove up their stock prices.
Yeah, and they pumped up the stock price. I mean, yeah.
So then when the hedge fund people buy it back, it would be more expensive than what they meant.
Exactly. And the crazy thing is that pumps up the stock even more, because now they have to start looking for where to buy this. So there's going to be an even higher demand for the stock, and that could
wait. So given that they had borrowed it, they're obligated to return it to the person who they borrowed it from. That's like an obligation.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
they're in deep shit.
Sorry.
Okay. No, I swore, my bad. I say they're in deep.
Oh yeah. Okay. That's not looking good. I think if you're a hedge fund right now, shame. I mean, I can't say I feel bad for you, but I feel bad for you.
Yeah, I feel bad for them. I feel bad for them. Goodness. I was gonna say, what I've seen online is like
if the hedge fund
People
shuts
calling it
down, more than likely they're just gonna get another really high paying job. So I don't feel bad for them.
yeah, they're fine.
Yeah, they'll be okay. They'll be okay.
But someone else made money. I've seen some really cool posts though of people who did invest in it. Someone was like they made like $4,000 and they could pay for a friend's surgery and shit like that,
Mm.
which is cool. Shout
Yeah.
out. That's a hustle.
Honestly, it's really, I think the whole thing is it's like real people.
Mm,
You know? It's real people.
mm. I should join Reddit since I'm
Yeah.
seeing.
We should make a Reddit for whatever we'll call the podcast.
But it's been really cool though. Like I don't know if it's the pandemic or if it's just like things in general, but looking at how little small movements like that are starting online, like not even like for the good. Like Trump's people started online as they organized
Hectic.
a
Yeah.
QAnon.
That is
So
facts. That
yeah.
no, that's actually true. We had like 4 Wednesdays of just the world like falling apart.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What was it?
So yeah.
What was it?
Huh?
There were like 4 Wednesdays, right? Like it was like 4 big Wednesdays.
Yeah. So it was the Capitol Hill storming.
Yeah.
That was on Wednesday. And then it was Biden's inauguration. That was on a Wednesday.
Excuse me. Ooh. Yeah.
I'm forgetting what the third one is, but the fourth one is this. It's GameStop.
Yeah.
The third one was.
I think there wasn't there
Was
like
Trump's impeachment?
yeah, but wasn't that before the inauguration?
I think
No,
the
Trump's
trial.
yeah. Trump was
The trial.
impeached, or wait, what?
I forget. We should look
I
it
think
up.
they
I'm pretty sure.
decided. Are you gonna research it now?
I'm gonna research it.
Can you do it on your laptop and like share your screen so we can see what you're googling?
I don't know if I can because I feel like it's gonna tank my Wi-Fi.
Oh, I thought like there was gonna be like dodgy stuff on your computer.
I mean, I'm not saying no. I'm not saying no to that. Okay, I'm gonna type in 4 Wednesdays on Twitter. Okay, there we go. 4 Wednesdays. It's actually like it comes up on the Twitter, like.
There we go. On Twitter, the sole source of truth, the source.
That's where I get my news. Okay, so it was the insurrection, which was Capitol Hill. Oh yeah, it was impeachment. And then inauguration, and then GameStop.
Impeachment, inauguration, GameStop.
And then insurrection, the Capitol Hill storming.
Wait, sorry, what was the order?
The person was insurrection.
Insurrection, impeachment.
When they stormed Capitol Hill, and then impeachment, and then inauguration, and then GameStop.
What? GameStop. Oh my god. Yo, okay.
That's the whole month.
Yeah, right. Celine, I think I have like a conversation that there's a chance we might disagree on. But we also might not. So like apparently disagreeing on podcasts is really good for viewings and ratings and stuff. So
analytics. Okay, so I'm just gonna start saying no to a bunch of things.
Just be like, no, that's bullshit.
No.
I mean, that's incorrect. So Wall Street Bets, right, has been banned. So it's a Reddit forum. They were banned from Discord. They got kicked off Discord because so the reasons that they're giving
because of the
sorry
because of the way that they hijacked the GameStops.
No, yeah, you would think that, right? And Loki, I think that's the real reason why they did it. But the reason they gave was because there was hate speech happening on Wall Street Bets, and that they were frequently being reported for hate speech and stuff.
Like racism and stuff.
Sorry.
Like racism. What type of hate?
Yeah, like probably that kind of stuff, like racism.
Okay.
Like sexism, homophobia, all the isms and phobias, like
gotcha.
all of that stuff. Gotcha. So they got kicked off apparently for that. Um, but it's just the timing to me is just a bit funky. So
Mm.
to me, that brings back up the discussion of how Donald Trump and people associated with Donald Trump were essentially purged from like all social media
Okay.
at once, and basically forever. Like it was like, look, we're kicking you off, and you're never gonna have an opportunity to
He
come
got
back.
kicked off Pinterest. He can't decorate his house no more.
Sorry.
Donald Trump got kicked off Pinterest. Like he can't decorate his house anymore.
Honestly, like man's called. Yeah,
Didn't
he's
he
gonna have
have
to.
Spotify too? It's like okay,
That's
but yeah,
crazy. I
go
didn't
on.
know it was on there, right? Um, yeah, like when YouTube were like, yeah, we're kicking Donald Trump off. I was like, did Donald Trump have a YouTube account? Like, I did not.
Maybe we're just trying to watch his videos in peace.
Like,
Here come the meddling left.
the meddling left hour. But like, so so now he got kicked off for pretty. I would say the reasons why he got kicked off are super good and valid. Like he literally caused a bunch of white supremacists to,
Yeah.
who he'd already been like hyping up for like 4 years. He used his final, Hail Mary to get these people to like literally storm Capitol Hill, like I don't know how Americans see it, but like the holy grail of like
It's an
politics.
insurrection. Yeah.
Yeah, literally an insurrection, right? He literally caused an insurrection by what you're saying. Yeah, yeah. And so it kind of makes sense that he'd be banned, or like there's some severe, like something to stop him from causing more stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, but then on the other hand, it's like he uh I don't know, like why now? Why only now, and why not earlier? Why didn't they kick him off much earlier?
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know. Is that the question?
Sorry, so then the question is going from there to where we are now, where this group of like, I don't know, retail investors or whatever have now
Sorry.
been kicked off of Discord, which they're saying it's for hate speech, but it's just like the timing to me is a bit weird.
Mm.
So I don't know. I feel like we shouldn't, like, if I mean, if there was actually hate speech on there, then, and it's been reported and whatever, then maybe there's probably a valid point in that, but just the timing to me is a bit funky. Uh, yeah, I don't know. Do you have like an opinion or a take on it?
I think um I think there's two like I'm two ways about it. So the first thing is that you can make the conversation that it was deliberate because they were messing with big money, big capital. This is a class warfare. You could make that argument, and I think it's certainly valid. But I also think that if you're just being realistic, if you're going viral, you're subject to more scrutiny. You've got a big spotlight on you all of a sudden. So if things are more likely to come up,
Mm,
and things are more likely to be like to have action taken against them for.
mm,
So I think it's two ways. I think yeah. I think those would be my opinions on that. I would think I think it's opportunistic also. I think it could be both at the same time. I think they could have just like, been upset that like regular average Joes are out here, tricking them and finessing the system just the same way that they were. So they were like, okay, cool. Well, how can we take them down?
yeah.
Here's an easy here's an easy thing, which, if you're guilty for it, then that's your loss also.
Yeah, but then on the other hand, it's like these people are doing shady stuff with the you know, with the actual complaint, with the like complaints that Discord has said that that's the reason why they're taking him off. They've been doing that, but now because now it's more public, it's like, hey, should we just kick them
Yeah,
out?
it probably is also bad for Discord's rep. You know, it's like, wow, you guys have been, you know, so it's like now they want to take immediate action because spotlight.
Exactly. And now people like, because there's a chance people are going to start being like, oh, what is Wall Street Bets? They get on there and they're like, oh, wow, this is this is what's happening here. Discord, how have you not let these, you know,
It's
rates?
so strange because it's like layers to this social media thing, and there's a certain layer of social media where these type of like, I guess these groups of people congregate on and meet up on like Discord, Tiny Chat, Reddit. Reddit is slightly mainstream, but not really.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you
Yeah.
know, different from Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, where it's like, you know, it's very mainstream. But it's like what's actually happening on these like underground layers of social media is
Yo, did you hear about Parlay? I think it's called Parlay.
yes.
Yeah.
That's where
fully
like,
shut down the whole thing. Amazon was like, nah, fam, you're out. You and all your homies out. Get out of here. Get
which
out.
is, you know, it's I don't think it's like they didn't know that this was happening before. They probably knew. But
it just
now
it was now bad for the reputation to keep like supporting.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big tech.
Hectic.
It's shady.
Yeah.
Pregnant pause.
Pregnant pause. Yeah, I don't know. Do you have what else can we talk about? What else do you talk about in a podcast?
We talk about things that are on the news. I don't know.
On the news.
Actually, I was gonna say, me and my friend, me and Leah, we were talking about, I don't know, shout out to Leah. We were talking about, wait, how did she phrase this question? It kind of ties into what we've been talking about, just the whole like freedom. Is it freedom of speech? Oh, hate speech rather, or censoring Trump, etc. And we were talking about how like, oh, I remember. So this is like deep sociology. I'm gonna try to tone it down a little. It's not deep sociology, but I'm gonna try to tone it down.
Teach me something, please.
We were talking about authoritarianism. I don't even know how to pronounce that word. Authoritarianism.
Yes.
Like, you know, authority. You don't really have an argument or a say against that. And we were talking about how it mainly manifests in right wing or conservative circles, I guess. But she sent me this article, which was this guy's research, who was arguing that there are symbols of authoritarianism on the left as well. And he was saying that their personalities, like people have authoritarian personalities, which I'm kind of like, I don't think I necessarily agree with that, because I think, you know, there's like a conversation to be had about what is political plurality. They're like, what is free speech? What is freedom of expression versus like actual just like human rights or like just human decency. So even seeing like Trump get censored and all his people get censored in the conversation there is like, well, this is leftist authoritarianism. The fact that they're censoring us is symbols of leftist authoritarianism versus it's like, no, dog. It could also just be like human rights or like just human decency. Like you're literally causing an insurrection. But at the same time, I do see that sometimes like progressiveness or like, I don't know what the word is, progressiveness, leftism, etc. It can also be very like clamped down-ish, which is where it creates that tension and why I think a lot of people are appealed to like Trump and his ideas is because, you know, you get that immediate resistance to authority or to force or to something. So I'm wondering whether like them banning Trump and all the other people is a good move or not. Because it could just result in more, in like a more infestation, I guess, of like this type of thing, of his type of thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, it is really complicated. Um, the implications for me, at least, implications for American politics are a bit like, eh, I don't live in America. I'm not American.
Yeah.
So, but the implications for how social media treats, you know,
People,
people
ideas.
and like, leaders of countries and stuff is, because I mean, like, what if your country has a different standard of like, right and wrong than America?
Mhm.
So
I'm actually thinking because my dad made an interesting statement, and he mentioned about how during the elections in Uganda recently they shut down the.
yes, they turned off the whole internet after. Hello, Celine, you are frozen. Auntie, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Yo, my microphone's on the left, which is why I'm like, ah, dude, come back. This doesn't work if I'm.
You back?
Yeah, I'm back. I was just WhatsApping you. I don't know if,
Uh,
yeah, I was going crazy into this microphone. So I don't know if we're gonna.
Does it affect the recording? I hope not.
I think it will, but like, I think it's okay. It won't be too bad.
It'll still like capture it, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, it's recording now. It
okay,
might
cool.
just split it up or something.
Now I
Um,
was talking about how when the
the
election happened
Ugandan
and then
election.
they shut down the internet, and how those are pretty much two sides of the same coin, even like the Trump censorship. But because one is American politics and the other one is regular old us down here, they get different types of attention, I guess.
Yeah, wasn't there something? I thought there was some like it. The way it went was something along the lines of the. So there was the like established politician, and then there was Bobby Wine, who's coming up with the youth and everything, and
Mhm.
then I think they started like deleting accounts or blocking accounts. Facebook started deleting accounts and blocking accounts from like uh the Ugandan politicians and presidents and stuff. And then those politicians then turned off the whole internet.
Oh wow.
I thought it was is it, yeah, I think that's what happened. I don't know.
Mm.
I'm not 100% sure. But like I know that definitely the end point was that the internet was turned off
How do
completely.
you feel about Facebook regulating like misinformation and information as an American company about foreign politics, or like what we got going on down here?
That is, I've never thought about that. Like actual, I mean, look, if something is easily not true, like if something is like if it's a fact, right, then cool. They should definitely clear up when something is a fact and when it's not.
Mhm.
There has been like, I don't know, there have been like people thinking about, um, okay, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I like the idea of labeling, like,
Of what?
excuse me, labeling, right? Like if a African politician posts something about yo, by the way, I have a fire segue that's coming up. But if an African if an African politician posts something about that's not no, that's not true, right? Yeah, something about COVID that's not true,
Mm.
and they label it. I'm completely happy with that. Something along
Yeah.
the lines of this may be misleading. If you need more information, check out this. Exactly like they've been doing with COVID stuff. Exactly like
Mm.
that. You know?
You think that they should do that for like just regular everyday politics in Africa? Should we give them that much power?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, because I mean, what if like, yeah, what if people are spreading misinformation? What if
Maybe they
people are
should be
spreading?
like an independent body because I don't know. I just don't like the idea of being like regulated or informed by a foreign entity. Yes. Maybe they should be like a grassroots organization that works together with Facebook. I'm pretty sure that's probably what they do.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Maybe I'm
normally
just
like what I know, I don't know about like fact checking, but I know about when they want to take off like violent content and stuff like that, they outsource that. But
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
they pay that company to do it for them. So Facebook's still in control in a sense,
Mm.
even though they're not taking as much responsibility as they should. But they do outsource it. So the idea of having like a sort of semi in or a completely independent body that is in charge of that country by country, I think would make sense, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Which
Yeah,
is, yeah.
I actually like that idea a lot. Facebook, Facebook doing it. Mark Zuckerberg sitting in Silicon Valley or wherever he lives now, just being like, no,
I remember that there was also a job that I applied to at Facebook, and they were looking for a regional policy manager. Where's my shit? Um, in SADC, so in the Southern African Development Community, so like South Africa, Zimbabwe, Zambia, all the rest of them. I might get in trouble for not listing all of them, but they're all important. So I'm sure they have
politician
like
for days.
they
Yeah, go on.
have regional offices which would take care of regional interests, but then the overarching or like the priority interest is always going to be the business interest, which is still
Yeah.
an American thing.
You know, yeah. You know, this makes me think of China actually, funny enough.
Mm.
Like the idea that so the idea that, right, the Chinese government can, and it's in law, the Chinese government can ask any company in the country to hand over any data that they have to the government, essentially weaponizing every single Chinese company that has access to any, foreign powers data, foreign power citizens data, right? So they could have access to our data. If we're on TikTok scrolling all day, they would know who we are, where we are.
Alibaba, AliExpress.
There we go.
Hey,
WeChat.
yeah.
I don't know anyone that uses WeChat, but I remember they tried to do some marketing on campus at a point. Like,
Really?
yeah, on Jammy Thursdays, there was like this huge WeChat stand thing. They were trying to get. I think it was like a collab with like Vodafone or something like
Okay.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm not exactly
Because
sure.
China likes African markets, so I can say it makes
Right.
sense.
Yeah,
It makes sense.
yeah.
They do.
So now I'm thinking like, if the U.S. government was like, um, Facebook, we need this data about this South African,
They got a lot.
Zimbabwean, Ethiopian
Yeah.
citizen because of whatever reason they might think, is Facebook going to be like, no, we're going to protect our users' data. Screw you, the government. Screw you, our government, America's government. I don't, yeah.
I think so.
You think they won't give them the data?
I'm trying to remember what I've been reading, but I think they're not allowed to share the data with a third party. I think.
Under what conditions? Because we all know they definitely do share data
Conditions.
with third parties.
That's an important consideration. That's the important consideration. I know with TikTok, when I read TikTok's little privacy agreement thing, it was very explicit. I like TikTok's privacy agreements and terms and conditions, etc., because it's very accessible. Also, like reading it, it was very clear cut. It was very easy to understand. So it's just like, okay, cool. You know what you're getting into. You know how you conduct yourself.
Celine, Celine,
WhatsApp.
I was
Uh-huh.
able to sell my shares. Ah,
Did you get them?
yeah, I got them. But now I'm just thinking, should I buy? Ah, yeah, I'm gonna buy more. It's fine.
Draw the money. I would draw the money. I'm that type of person.
Sorry?
I would withdraw my money.
You'd withdraw your money from the stock market completely.
Yes. Like if I hit a certain, I was talking to my mom, I was like, ma'am, if I hit a certain amount of zeros, I'm just like, I just take it now. That's fine.
Okay, let's see if I can. I can't afford the fees. I don't know if this is good content or not, but this is the content you're getting.
I mean, it's like real life what do you call that? Real time. Stop
Yeah,
lying.
you know, real
You guys are
time.
inspiring people right now. This is inspirational.
You know, aspire. Yeah, you know, aspire for investing in stonks. Stonks.
The
I've
stock
never heard
market.
anyone say that out loud. Like,
Look at this graph. That's like
okay,
a
I think. Wait, is this okay? Ah, is this okay? Yes, it is. All right, all right. Show me the money. Okay, cool. Yeah, I just
you just bought some shares.
bought some stonks. Bought some.
I'm gonna borrow them from you. Now that I know the
You
terminology.
may. Are you trying to short something?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but yo, I'm gonna charge you really high fees here, because short sellers. I don't like short sellers. Be on the
Friends
side of progress. Why you gotta be so pessimistic?
Friends discount, bro. Okay, yeah. We're talking about privacy agreements, and we're saying
Oh
that
my
there's certain.
god, yo, I'm sorry, my head hurts. Can we talk about something? Can we talk about something fun just for a little bit? Something stupid and fun.
Okay,
Like
okay.
how the fact that Kamala Harris's like whole family was wearing Nikes and Jordans at the inauguration.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
That
I
was
saw
dope.
that.
I
That
think
was a very Hunger Games
why?
for me.
Why?
I don't know. It just felt weird. Like it just
Analyze
felt so
society. Let's
strange.
go. Yeah.
I don't know. I was just like the concept of like what it was and how they were dressed, and they were all wearing like Christian Dior, and people were like on the TV talking about like, oh, she's wearing this, he's wearing unreleased Nikes, etc. I was just like, this is very like, I feel very peasant right now. I feel like a peasant in
Honestly,
like
honestly, I'm here in my
2012.
Serengeti. Yo, Serengeti, the Serengeti's dope, but I'm here in my Serengeti shirt. Like,
I'm wearing my friend's stepfather's sweater.
oh my god, oh my god.
Like yeah, I don't know. It just highlighted how much of a peasant, not necessarily how poor I am, but like how much of a peasant I am. Like we should still be calling ourselves peasants because we are. We're
Loki,
peasants.
Heike, Heike.
Yeah. But but it was dope to see. It was cool to see. It was also cool to see a bunch of black kids um
That was dope.
on the stage. That was cool.
Yeah,
I
even
like
like
that.
poetry.
Yeah, she's cool too.
Yeah, that lady
She's
really.
really cool. I didn't know about her until the inauguration.
Yeah, right.
We
Uh,
would have cooler inaugurations in Africa if our elections weren't stolen half the time. But I think we should have cooler inaugurations in Africa.
excuse me. I think we should have. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think we need new technology. Yo, okay. I think yeah. I don't want to get into too much like heady topics, but the I do want to talk about the free trade agreement, but we can talk about that on episode 2 of this podcast that we haven't even named yet.
Two. That's next week. Should we have like a drop date, like a certain day where it's like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah. What day?
a name, which also still doesn't have a name, by the
Okay.
way.
What name? I mean, what name? What day? Should we say
Give it.
Friday, Saturday?
What is it? Today's Friday. Oh, Sundays are nice. We can take people
Thursday?
Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah. Like, you're not doing nothing. You're probably meal prepping or getting ready for work. So you're like, let me listen to these two fools and what they want to
Facts.
talk about.
But we have to earn that, right? Because some people probably already have their Sunday night podcasts or their Sunday afternoon podcasts.
That's
And
true.
we actually have to make our content so good that it kicks them off the pedestal and puts us there instead.
What podcast do you listen to?
Let's see. I listen to a lot. I listen to I really like Pivot with Scott
Mm.
Galloway and Kara Swisher. I like um I used to really like Masters of Scale. I haven't listened to it in a long time. But yeah, it's it used to be really good, but I think it's just I don't know. I don't really like it as much as I used to. How I Built This with Guy Raz, the Prof G Show with Scott Galloway. There's this one called Acquired. I like listening to Towards Data Science. Like it's all about business wars, entrepreneurial thought leaders, indie hackers, marketplace, all like businessy, hectic. Yeah.
Get into the bag.
Yeah, just trying to get to the bag, Like my goal in life, I'll say this on this podcast. One of my goals for this year, and you guys will hold me accountable to it, right? So my goal for this year is to make 10,000 Rand a month from a business by the end of the year. That's it. That's
okay,
it.
that's a good goal.
So I have a
just
full-time job.
my goal for the year was to make R1 million by December.
No, that's so hard. Wait, is your goal to make R1 million? Yeah, sorry, no, that's super doable. You can do it.
No, it's not.
I believe in you. This is just the beginning. I mean, we're in the first month of the year, so you could do it. Like,
I mean, if I look at it in dollars, because that's how I operate, that's like $90,000.
Okay, yeah, that's super doable. That is actually very doable.
I don't know. I'll see.
How are you gonna do it, though? Talk to us.
I don't know. What if I sold selfies? Like, I shouldn't speak my business ideas on the podcast.
Thanks.
Okay, but I'll hold you. I think yours is doable. I can hold you to account to that.
Yeah, 10K a month.
What was our highest profit for our last venture?
Pardon?
What was our highest monthly profit in the last venture that we did?
The last what?
Venture, the last business that we
worked on. What venture? We talking about coding for finance. Yo, I don't want to start talking revenue numbers on this company, but I'm on this podcast. But let's say it was less than 10K a month. It was definitely less than 10K a month.
But there was projection for growth, I think. I think COVID messed us up.
I think COVID actually helped us. I won't lie. But I think I was one too stubborn. I was being too stubborn because, yeah, I mean, we can talk about it properly, but I was being too stubborn because there were some good suggestions that you and I don't know how much I should talk about the other.
Our third aficionado.
But let me say this. I wasn't open to ideas and I wasn't listening to people exactly like I'm doing to you right now. And two, I just like cut you off to be like, I wasn't listening to people. And like, here we are. And then the second reason was, just like, I mean, there was the first reason led to so many other things but I think the main thing was I wanted it to be a big business. Like, I
don't think you should be carrying the blame by yourself. I think I was too busy.
Okay, yeah.
And I bit off a lot more than I could chew, which is my bad.
Okay, my bad. That's fair. That's fair.
I should have clearly communicated my boundaries.
Emotional wisdom, maturity. Yeah.
But I still think that, in terms of revenue, there's definitely projection for growth. I think it's interesting that you think COVID helped us, because that's true. When I look at it,
the lockdown helped.
When I look at it from that perspective, I do see how COVID helped us. I think shout out to us because we survived a pandemic as a startup.
We are surviving a pandemic. We're still in the pandemic.
Yeah. So shout out to us.
Yeah,
my lighting is going down because the sun is setting.
Oh, hectic. Okay. Yeah, we should probably round up soon.
How long has it been? When did we start?
Like 4-ish. I feel like it's been.
Okay. Wait, hold on.
I actually know the exact time. I can tell you the exact time.
We started at 4:38. Well, I mean a little bit later.
Yo, my phone has not been ringing because someone phoned me and my phone didn't ring at all.
Is it on mute?
No. I don't know what's happening.
You always say that my podcast on PNB should be longer. This is probably the longest that I've ever created or spoke.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm proud. And I don't think
Me
it's
too,
half
I think.
bad.
Sorry?
I don't think that this was a half bad episode. I think I would listen to
Mm.
it.
Yeah, I'm gonna edit it, and then you can, if you have any ideas, you should tell me.
We should have an intro.
An intro, like
Or
like
like a do 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 do.
like what?
Like a jingle, like an
A
intro jingle.
jingle lit. Okay, yeah, we could get a jingle. We could ask someone to make one for us.
Okay, there we go. There we go.
Yo, we still need a name. So that's like, I feel like that's the last point of business for today, and then we can hop off.
Okay.
So what's
Wait. Okay, cool. Actually, true that, because we have figured out our content. We had some interesting content. I have
yeah.
a notebook, by the way. So,
Okay. Nice. Nice. What so
okay.
what do we call it though? What do we call it though?
I was thinking Ojo's beans.
That's an idea.
Huh?
That's an idea.
Or Poppin' Dojo, I guess. No? Okay, fine. God. God damn it. I'm trying.
Of a dojo. Okay, I also have one. What about Ojo and Cece? Or Cece and Ojo? So then it's an alphabetical order. And you get that EE and OO.
Okay, but do I look like a CC though? I don't think I look like a CC.
Okay, yeah, we got it.
I am CC.
Or just Celine and Ojo's podcast.
How about we do something that's like away from our identities and our names,
Okay.
like the truth mission or something. I don't know, something very
The Truth Vision.
I don't know.
Wait, really? We can. I mean, we can. Like,
I don't know. Something of truth. Sojourners of truth. No, I don't think we speak that much truth on this
yeah, we
podcast.
talk shit. Like,
Oh shit. Podcast with no name. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
what about two black
Oh,
kids? I'm sure
one
that's,
more thing.
and I don't want it to be
One
about
more
race.
thing that I wanted to talk about before we, whilst we're thinking about our name, was how, because I've been doing some research on what the podcast scene is looking like, particularly on this continent. And I think you and I are very similar in the sense that we operate in continental terms because we are sort of widespread across the continent, in terms of where we're from, what we do, etc., all of those things.
Yeah.
But I did not want to make it an African podcast in
Yeah.
the typical sense, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. So you feel me?
Yeah, I think it has to stand
Where
up
it's like,
a global standard, you know?
yeah, not only
It
a
should be
global standard, but
accessible for people all over.
more, yeah, because it's
So can I give you an example of what we can kind of aspire to? So there's this guy on YouTube called, his name's Daniel Tamago, and he goes to the National University of Singapore, right? And he's you can see he's trying to make his content global, and it's like really, high level, high quality content.
Okay.
Like, this guy is killing it, right? But it's Singaporean because he's Singaporean, right? So I feel like us trying to make our stuff accessible, trying to make it really good, we will naturally just put Africa on a global stage.
Yeah, it also opens us up not only to a global audience, but even in-house. We're looking at regulars like me and you. What are we interested in?
Yeah.
We are global citizens, not only because of where we're from, but because of the social media that we consume, etc., etc. So I'm glad we're on the same page.
Yeah.
That's a podcast name. I'm glad we're on the same page.
I like that. I actually like that. I'm glad we're on the same page. And then if we disagree, that makes it even funnier because we're like not on the same page. Like, okay, I'm glad we're on the same page. I'm just checking to see if there's a podcast called that, just so we don't like.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're on
the same page.
What is this? I can't find one here.
Yeah. I'm also gonna look it up.
Although the only thing I don't like about it is that it's quite long.
I was gonna say it's a bit wordy.
Maybe just glad we're on the same page.
Could be.
No, it's too long. I think it's too long.
I'm glad we're on
I think 3 words max. Maybe 4 words. But even better if it's 1 word. Yo, but there's also this other podcast called This Week in Startups. Startups is, it's still 4 words, but startups is like 2 syllables, so it makes it seem.
It's cool. It sounds nice in the mouth. I'm glad we're on the same page.
Yeah, it's like, hey, check out our podcast. I'm glad we're on the same page. Or even just, I mean, glad we're on the same page. Glad we're on the same page. It's 6 words. It's fine. I actually think it's a good name. I actually really like it. Glad we're on the same page.
Well, there we go. Shout out to us.
Name the podcast. That was so straightforward. That was so true.
It was a bit anticlimactic. Hey, there was no argument. I mean, no, you did fight me.
Yeah. Those first 2 names were crazy. But now, but I feel like, we have to start somewhere, And what did I say? Ojo and Cece. That's awful.
Yeah, no, I'm not a Cece. I think I would like to think, I'd imagine I'm a bit more like tough. No?
Yeah, yo, it was nice talking. I'll catch you on the next one.
Whatever, dog.
All right. Celine, thank you. Thank you for the chat. Keen to do a lot more of these. Hopefully we can grow our audience and people actually care about what we have to say.
We should plug our details at the end.
What details? Oh, lit. Yeah, like our Twitters. So my Twitter, what's your Twitter handle?
There's probably a place where you can put it down because mine's hard to spell. At Nyakasikana X on Twitter, plus Yojo. And my Instagram is IMX but this will be written down somewhere.
Yeah. So and mine is, I don't know what my Twitter is. My Instagram is at Ojo the son of Baba, and then my Twitter is,
I think your Ojo's Dojo.
Ojo's Dojo. Yeah, that sounds right. I think it is Ojo's Dojo. But if that's wrong, then we'll just put it somewhere.
Also, please, I don't want to be fought on Twitter. That makes me so nervous.
Yeah, me neither. I'm like, I don't know. But Twitter is, people on Twitter are ruthless.
Ruthless, my nigga, they'll come for you.
Oh, so yeah, I also don't want people.
And it's getting more dangerous because now they come for people's jobs and shit. It's like, no, I'm just trying to make an honest living.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. Okay. Peace.
Shout out.
Bye.